Hey, today I'm going to show you how to bake live for GoldSrc model. Hopefully by this video you should be able to make a model that looks like this. The entire thing here is a model. Alright, into the start you need Blender, and on top of Blender you need something called Blender Source Tool. So you go to add-ons right here and make sure you have Blender Source Tool. Blender Source Tool does not come with Blender, so you need to install it. In order to install it, just go look up Blender Source Tool and you will get this link and you download it. You have a zip file. After that, you just click here, click install from this, and click on the zip file to install it. In order to make sure that you have it, just search for Blender Source Tool here and you have this one tick, and you're done with setting up Blender. The next thing you need is the application of mine called gchimp. You go to release page and 0 is out, you release 0.1.5 and just get that, and you will have a gchimp.exe. Just launch that and it will look like this. You go to BLBH menu right here and you're done with the setup. So right now I have a map in train room right here, just some blank with some cubes, and let's see, I have some no texture here. With the train room I can export my map into something called an OBJ file, because with OBJ file I can import it into Blender. So now I'm gonna export it. I'm gonna call it scene 3 because I've done it 2 times before. And I go to Blender. I'm gonna delete everything here. I'm gonna import a OBJ file right here. And let me just make myself comfortable. So I'm gonna make the render a little bit farther so we can see a lot of things. Okay, so I have everything blank, empty. So if you want to see some texture on the top right here, you can click a viewport shading. That right now is purple because I have no texture. So this is where step you need to export texture from the SWAT file, because the texture here you see is from train room. Its use is what texture. So in order to do that, you just need to know what texture you have used. So right here I see I use wall 10 and made a cube teal green right here. If you want, you can use my tool to export the texture. In order to use gchimp to export texture, just go to WATD tab right here. I have 2 texture files, and those are Surf Benten and Surf Goliath. So for Goliath, I think this one is C101B right here. I can just click it and I can just export it. Select somewhere that I want to, and same thing for Benten right here. Just gonna make a cube tube green and export it. Just select somewhere and I got it. And after those things I would have these images, and that would be, let me see, made a cube or 2 green right here, and see wall something. So I have those two images. So I go to material right here. Just select on this object. It will show like which materials it's using. So I'm selecting the cube. I see made a cube right here, and I'm going to go base color. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to add the image texture. I'm going to open folder and the cube green bitmap right here. And the next one is going to be the plane, have no texture. I mean, I don't want no texture, so I just want to remove it. And see wall right here, I'll do the same thing, image texture, add the seawall here, and now I go to viewport shading. But it looks normal except for the no texture right here. As you see, it's a no texture, and I don't want to export no texture into the final model, so I want to remove the whole face. So you go to edit mode right here. You can select this, the top left right here to select face. Select it, press delete and delete face and both other faces as well. Just delete them. So that's all no faces. But if you look at this one, you have like, there's no back colon. It shouldn't matter if you want, this doesn't bother you. So click on that, go to material, the seawall right here, and just click back colon. You shouldn't see it, but it doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. So at this point, you can save the Blender file. I'm gonna call scene3.blend because again, I've done it 2 times before. So now you have a scene like exactly from your map inside Blender. The next thing you want to do is rapid UV. So right now I want to like duplicate the workspace, so you know it's easy to work. So I just duplicate workspace right here, and I'm going to go to UV editor. I'm going to make a new texture. It's called bake, and for the texture side, I'm going to do a 4K texture. I recommend you to do the same things as I'm doing right now, using 4K texture, because if you use less than the 4K texture is not good enough. And exactly 4K texture will give you 64 512 by 512 texture, and that's the maximum for a model to have 64 texture files. Untick the alpha and new image. Should be pitch black. It's just a scroll out and you see it. So this step is fairly tedious, but let me show you how. So go back to object mode. Click on a brush right here, just an object. You can select here, but I prefer selecting from the top right. Yeah, and then I go to data, UV maps, and just click plus right here. Do the same thing for every object here. Just make sure when you click plus right, you select a new one, like it's highlighted over here. You go to edit mode here, select everything by press A, just letter A, and then you hover your mouse to this menu, also press A, and you press U, and you see the Smart UV project right here. Just do exactly like this, what I'm doing, and click on wrap. So you see right now, everything here fits in this one new 4K texture. So that's something done. Go back to object mode, and you see there is no lighting. So this step, you need to add some lighting to it. You can go to random right here, and you can use EV, use cycle, separate use cycle. And if you have GPU, you should use GPU. To enable GPU, just make sure that you have something selected right here for cycles, render devices. I'm on AMD GPU, so I use HIP. You on NVIDIA, you should use CUDA. Right now I have no light. Let's add some light. So to add some light, you go to this panel right here. Press Shift A. You're gonna add some light. You can do sunspot. Why not? And so I move the sun around. So press G. I want to move it along the Z axis. So I press Z and move just up and down only. And right now there's nothing on my light. So I go to here, the data for the light. It's gonna go like few million watts, so it's not enough. Okay, that is 10 megawatt. That's 10 million watts. And you see I have something here, so I can play around with the spot right here. Spot size, that's bigger, so that's nice. And you see the sun, the shadow is kind of sharp. You want to be the shadow to be softer, change the radius right here. And looks pretty good for me right now. See, I have a shadow cascading from one block to another block, and cover half it, and shadow on the ground. Very nice. You can play around it and see like which is best for you. What's next is gonna be baking step. So I'm gonna add another panel right here. I go to the shader editor, and I'm gonna select every object. So this is the step where you need to create a texture for every object right here. I'm gonna select the plane right here, and I'm gonna hover the mouse with this, and I'm gonna press Shift A. I'm gonna add the image texture. And in this image texture, I'm gonna select the bake texture that I made over here. We'll do the same thing for this one cube. This one I just use like only 2 texture. So if you have a scene with a lot more texture, it's gonna be a lot more complicated. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Just add image texture, select a bake texture, and now you can select our cube. It's already using this one texture already, so that's nice. The next thing you're gonna do is baking it. You know, gonna take a while. You go to render. Make sure you use cycles because for some reason only cycle support baking texture. And you go to bake, and let's see, you're gonna need to select all of the brushes right here. You want to bake with diffuse, play with the render setting right here. I don't need very high detail shadow, so I'm just going to do 64 samples. If you don't, for some reason, if you don't have the bake button enabled, for some reason, just make sure that you select these brushes only. And it's bake. It's gonna take a while. Alright, so 3 days have passed, and you see I have the final image right here. If I scroll in, it looks detailed enough, and have shadow like all over the places. Very nice. So right now I have the image file right here. It's a 4K texture. I got the image right here. I'm gonna save as see, I called scene 3. So scene 3 BNG. Save as image. Now we need to export the model right here into an SMD file. Just select all the objects here, and I go to scene properties right here. I go to source engine export. I select a folder, and I want to export SMD, and I want it to be the GoldSrc format. Click export, and now I should have. So I have the plain file, which is from this. I have the object file earlier, the BNG, which was the texture. If I zoom in, see I have 4K texture right here, and I have the SMD file. So this is the final step. You run those 2 files through my tools. So I have a BNG file and the SMD file. I mean, I can drag and drop, or if you want, just click it manually. And you see there's some options for what you want to do, so you can convert the texture. See, split the 64 smaller compliant files because Studio Model they cannot take 4K texture, so I have to split it to 512 by 512. Next, convert the SMD. You need that, so you can have a new SMD. The next, compile model, because gchimp includes Studio MDL.exe, you can use that to compile model. Flash shade is to make sure that the lighting in the map doesn't affect the model. And from there, I just click run, and just wait a bit. It's pretty fast. Let's see progress. Alright, I found the problem. Earlier I was trying to show something. So the UV map right here, I forgot to choose the UV map when I export SMD. Okay, just make sure that the UV map is the other one for every object. And now I'm going to export the model. Just select every object right here. Go to scenes, export, and it should work. And now I have the SMD file, BNG file. Let's see it in action. Click run right here. It's run pretty fast, and we just have the model right here. Let's see the model, and I'm going to copy this model into my CS drive folder. And what lets me open another map where I can compile. So I have this map right here. I'm gonna choose that. It's going to be just scene 3. Okay, this is what it looks like in Trend Room. Let me compile it and run it in the game. And it looks pretty close, I guess. A little bit darker, but this is because the sky lighting, you can block the light completely and make it darker. So yeah, let's see. The model is 16 megabytes. Let me open it inside HLAM, and you can see this is what the model looks like in HLAM. In HLAM, it's kind of deceptive because the model texture looks kind of weird. Yeah, it looks better in game. And when you look at the texture right here, it's gonna use 64 texture. And look at the UV map right here. See all of these square are used. And you look at the wireframe. This is what it's gonna look like. Pretty cool, huh? I think so. Alright, I guess that's it. By the way, there's a lot of other tools inside gchimp. I hope you give it a try. It's very nice. Alright, good luck.